There you go. Yeah, the pencil's working. It's just lighter than the pen. So Caleb was not enjoying copying his states. He was having a hard time with it. So someone gave me this idea to tape the map up to a window so that you can see it better, and the tape holds it in place so his paper doesn't move around everywhere. And Caleb just finished one map, and he asked me if he could do another one. So that is exciting. Caleb,
a bunch.
why do you want to do so many maps?
For our team to win.
Tell me about that.
So there's a big board and it tells everybody which team had the most maps for the week, and all teams work together to reach 5,000. All teams work together to get 5,000, but all teams like to see who got the most.
And what happens when we reach 5,000 maps? When we reach 5,000 maps?
All the tutors get a pie thrown in the face, and you're a tutor.
No, he is David.
Caleb, can you tell me the states and the capitals? Can you point it out?
Augusta, Maine, Concord, New Hampshire, Albany, New York, Boston, Massachusetts, Providence, Rhode Island,
What mile is that?
Hartford, Connecticut, Concord, Vermont,
No, it's Montpelier, Vermont.
Montpelier, Vermont, Owen, New York, Pennsylvania, Trenton, New Jersey, Dover, Delaware, Annapolis, Maryland, West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Annapolis, Maryland, Richmond, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, and Columbia, South Carolina, and next week is Atlanta, Georgia.
Today was a really great day with homeschooling because I got to see a lot of growth with Caleb, and that's one thing that I'm really beginning to appreciate and enjoy about homeschooling is that we're with our kids so much, and we can see their improvements, we can see their growth, which is really encouraging after a really kind of a hard first 2 weeks. There was a lot of groaning and complaining and not wanting to do assignments and things like that. And so the maps today that you saw Caleb tracing his map on the window is huge. That doesn't seem like a big deal to you. But these last 2 weeks, every time I've asked Caleb to do a map, he's cried and whined and fussed and run away. One day it took him 2 hours to do a map because he would cry and fall on the floor, and then he would go to his room and lie down, and then he'd come back and he crumpled up his paper, he threw it on the floor, he ripped it up, he had to start over. I mean, it was ridiculous. But I was very committed to him doing the maps. At the end of this year, the kids are supposed to be able to freehand draw the map of the United States and label all the states and capitals. And we do that by repetition. We draw maps every single day. And that was one of the things that I really, really liked about the Classical Conversation program. And so I enforced it, and I tried my hardest to stay gentle and calm but firm. And that's a hard combination to do all the time, but and I kept trying new things. I feel like homeschooling is just this one big experiment, trying new things and figuring out kind of what works. And so I got to the point where I was drawing the map, and then he would just kind of trace over it. And that was okay, but not ideal. And then if I wanted him to draw maps, then I would have to draw them. So that was a lot of work for me. And then I heard this idea to stick the map, tape it to the window, because that lets the light come through, and then it also keeps the map from moving, because that was one of Caleb's problems, is that he would sit to draw or trace it, and the map would move, the paper would shift, something would happen, and he'd get off, and that was really frustrating for him. And so by taping it to the window, and then taping his tracing paper to the window, where he's able to see it better, and it doesn't move around, and he's able to do his maps better. And so the goal is to get him to be able to freehand it, but we're not quite there yet. It's still a new skill for my boys, drawing maps. People that have done CC, grown up with it, or have done it for years, even second-year students, they're used to it, and they kind of know what's expected. They know that's a skill that they've been working on. And so for my boys, it's kind of new, so I'm still letting them trace for right now, but the goal is to get them to freehand it. But I think we have a win for Caleb. He actually did his first map that I required of him, and he had so much fun. He asked if he could do another one. And so, of course, I said do as many as you want, and he ended up doing 4, which is huge. So we've gone from 2 hours of whining, fussing, crying to do 1 map to doing 4, 3 additional ones just for fun, voluntary. And our CC community, Classical Conversation community, has a map challenge where if our whole Classical Conversation community draws 5,000 maps throughout the course of the year, and not full maps, like you start with just a few states, you learn to draw those, and then you add some, and then add some, and add some. So each, partial map counts. If we reach 5,000, then all the tutors get pies in their faces. And I'm a tutor, and so Caleb is very excited about me getting pie in my face. And so I think that is kind of just a fun little extra motivator to get him to draw his maps. And so this is something you can do at home, even if you don't homeschool, just in the afternoon or on the weekends, and you can make it a fun thing and just print out a map. Just Google Maps and just print it out, and you can have your kid, your child trace or freehand, whatever they're comfortable with. And it's a great way to learn geography and a great way to learn about our states.